What if I told you that everything you ever wanted is at the palm of your hands?
Told you not to call here. It's not for sale. Quit texting me and aggravate.
So in case you guys don't already know, my name is Dan, and I am a real estate investor out of Charlotte, North Carolina. In this video, I'm gonna tell you guys how I got started wholesaling. In this video, hopefully you guys will get some good information on how I got started. Maybe you guys can get started in this business. Maybe you guys can get started in any other business. Maybe I'll give you some information that will really help you out, that could completely change your life. So with all that being said, how did I get started wholesaling? That's a good question. That's a really good question. So once upon a time, I never read a book, okay? I never read a book. I thought books were stupid and that people that read books were stupid too. Now, I want to also tell you how dumb I was to believe that in the first place. I'll be straight up with you guys. I was an idiot. I thought books were for absolutely stupid people that wanted to waste their time when you could get all the information that you need from the internet. Yeah. So about that, the internet does not have all the information that you ever want. It's all hidden within books. A rich man once said, if you want to ever hide $1 million, hide it in a book because nobody will ever find it. One of the books that changed everything for me, you know what, I need to go get it because I don't even have it with me. All right, now that we're back. So, first book I read that changed my mind about books was nothing to do with wholesaling, nothing to do with real estate. It's called the Elliott Wave Theory. This book is really special to me for a few reasons. Number one, my wife bought it for me. I wanted to learn how to trade better. I used to do some trading in the stock market. I trade crypto now too, every now and then. Nothing really big. I don't make millions of dollars from it, but I do make some money. Crypto portfolio looking real nice right now. But this book, my wife bought it for me. It was something that I wanted to learn, something that somebody had talked about, and I was really excited that she took the time to buy this book for me. And after I read this book, it changed my life. Reason why it changed my life was it told me that I was majorly lacking information, and the information that I was seeking to change my life was entrapped in these pages. So after I read this one, I was like, you know what? What's another good book that I should read? And I looked, and a familiar face popped up that I had looked at over 10 years ago. It's a book that every entrepreneur has read at least one time in their life. It's been this one. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Man, this is where I learned how to wholesale, right here. And you know, it's funny, people read books, not for all the information that's in these books, but one idea might change everything for them. This book mentions wholesaling one time, at a point where he got I think it was a commercial building under contract for $500,000, and sold the contract to a friend or somebody that he knew that was interested in that building, and made like over a $500,000 profit. I was like, what? So where exactly do they do this at? And I looked that up. I was like, can you sell a contract? And sure enough, you know, that's where I discovered wholesaling. Max Maxwell, Brian Origbu, also Mr. Duru, Nasser. Shout out to Nasser. These guys broke it down a little bit further for me, and I was like, holy crap, I learned that from a book. What else could I learn? The next book I read was another one that was great, which is this one, Think and Grow Rich. This book is a short book. It's not very long. It only took me a couple hours to read it. And you can listen to all this stuff on Audible. Shout out to Audible. No affiliation to Audible. I don't get paid for this, but Audible is where I listen to most of these books at. And Napoleon Hill talks about manifestation and, you know, thinking and using your brain to project yourself at the point in time where you want to be. Like, you know, think about the money you're gonna make. I thought about a pile of $100,000 just piled up on my desk, and what that would look like. And I wanted that. And I manifested that in my brain and completely changed my way of thinking. After that, I kept getting more and more hungry, and I read one of my favorites. This is Uncle G right here, the 10X rule. Hands down, man. If you guys want some real motivation in your life, this is it right here. This guy taught me everything that I ever wanted to know about sales, entrepreneurship, and the single fact of never giving up. In case you guys don't know who Grant Cardone is, he is a billionaire real estate investor who at one point in time in his life was a cocaine addict. He was broke. He started with no money. Father died when he was 12, raised by a single mom. And his drug habit turned into the entrepreneurship flex of a lifetime, okay? This guy owns jets, he owns helicopters, and he owns billions of dollars in real estate. That man, I know that a lot of people probably don't agree with him, but man, you want to talk about inspirational? He was my financial father. I read more than just this book that he wrote. I read all his books, but he really put it into perspective on why people fail at entrepreneurship and why people don't make it, and when people don't put themselves out there, they never know. And then when you start succeeding, it's like you can tell the future. It's amazing. The other one here, The One Thing by Gary Keller. Gary Keller is amazing. This helped me focus in on my marketing, on basically just trying to really laser focus on marketing and not get distracted by everything else that was in between. And also on, just my business in general. I had too many places I was putting myself. And then the one that, really sealed the deal for me, If You Can't Wholesale After This by Todd Fleming. Todd Fleming is really cool. He puts a lot of good information in that very short book, and you can learn how to wholesale pretty quickly. So after reading all this, back to my journey, after reading all this, I was like, holy crap. You mean I could wholesale houses and make thousands of dollars a month, and I don't need really a lot of money to do it? Sounds like a plan. So I started my research on everything. All this was included in the research. I read more books after that. I read about 45 books that year. And I pushed forward. I started with my very first marketing campaign, which was bandit signs. Yeah, good old bandit signs. Bandit signs was a lot of fun. At the time that I started my bandit sign campaign, I also had an injured arm, and I was basically arm sling like this, hanging out bandit signs with my left arm that I can barely even write with. And that was a lot of fun. My wife drove me around town. I put up bandit signs, went on my first appointment after a month of hanging up those bandit signs. And let me tell you, that right there was like, moment. I was so excited because it worked. I didn't even have to get the deal. If I would have got it on the contract, it would have been even sweeter. Actually, I lost that follow-up 7 months later to somebody else. Yeah, it is what it is, right? I was just happy that it worked. The idea works, okay? The fact that somebody called me off a sign and invited me to their home without me even knowing them, knowing of me, and the fact that they did it confidently showed me that, okay, I think this is working out the way I think it might. I just kept going, arm in the sling and all. After a couple of months of, just going out there and hanging out bandit signs, I got my first deal. First deal, closed it, $1,600. It was fantastic. I was excited. I had never been so excited in my life that I closed a wholesale deal. That day that I cashed that check, I'll never forget it. I mobile deposited it right from my car, and I was like, oh my God, this is like so amazing. The whole concept works, the wholesaling concept. And that journey from beginning to end, from the moment that idea was implanted in my head, February 2018, I closed that deal in August 2018. Okay, that was my whole time period. Now, I want you to remember something. Throughout this whole period, I had no systems in place. I was just using bandit signs. I had no idea what I was doing. okay? For me to say that I was experienced, yeah, right. That is the biggest crock of crap I ever heard in my life. Experience? None. Okay, I didn't know what I was doing. I had no clue. I was totally blind. I didn't even know why I was marketing the way I was, and I didn't even understand my own marketing. The only thing I understood was this works, and I'm gonna keep going until nothing happens. And guess what, guys? Nothing happened. After that deal closed, I followed up with a lady with a deal that wasn't really a deal. I ended up finding somebody to buy the deal. Learned a lot in between. And after that deal in August, I closed my second deal 7 months later. That's a long time. We're talking in about a year's time, okay? A little over a year. I closed 2 deals. Two deals. I mean, for some, of course, that's great. Me, I thought it was great too. But it took a long time. You know, it took a long time. After that second deal, I bought a house too, subject to my first flip. Nightmare on Elm Street. Should have named it that. It should have been on Elm Street because it was a total nightmare. Freddy Krueger should have just popped out that house because I hated it. I hated it to death, and I'm glad I finally sold it. Finally sold, by the way. 2021, January. Finally closed that deal after holding it for 2 freaking years. Okay? 2 years of nightmare. But besides that, after that journey began, I got stuck again. No leads. All my follow-ups had closed or went with somebody else because I never followed up with them. It was my fault. And I started reading more about marketing. I was down. I was very upset with the way things were going. And I just kept pushing forward. Like all of you should. Just keep going. You know, even when the tough gets going, you keep going. You don't just pack up and leave and just say, you know what? This just didn't work. Nah, man. Not around here. There's only plan A. There is no plan B, just modified plan A, okay? If my plan A doesn't work, I go back to the drawing board and I dissect why did plan A not work and what could I modify plan A for and try to make it work. That's kind of like how I did wholesaling. So my next deal, okay? So here we are 3 deals deep. It's June 2019. I am working on my house and I'm like, you know what? I need some capital because I'm running out of money fast. And I was like, you know what? Let me call my good old friend who we did a deal with a few months back and see if he wants to do some wholesaling with me. And before I even offered that to him, I asked him if he would basically partner up with me on a crazy idea, which was to hit a whole block. I hit like 400 houses on this one block. And I was like, you know, I don't know if this is going to work, but we're just going to hit everybody and see what sticks. Got a deal right there. We closed on it 2 months later, made $15,000. And I was like, all right, cool, man. It actually closed in August of 2019. So a year after my first deal, I closed 4 deals. And then every month after that, I've closed a deal since. Just about. You know, if you split up all my deals that I've ever done, I've closed about 3 deals a month ever since then. But at that time, I kept closing a deal and a deal and a deal. I finally left my job October of 2019. I gave my job a 1-month notice that I was quitting. They offered me more money and I respectfully said, no, thank you. I appreciate the offer. Great people I work for, by the way. If you ever need a survey in the Central Florida area, Vision Land Survey, the place to be. Great people. One of the most sincere people I ever worked with. But I quit and full-time into wholesaling ever since. Here we are, December 2021. Going into January 2022. Been wholesaling for 2 years only. I have no other job. I have businesses, but I have no other job. And that's all I've been doing ever since. But, like I said, look how long that took. It took me almost 2 years to be consistent. 2 years, guys. You know, a little over, what is it, like a year and a half, something like that. It took some time. It didn't happen overnight. That's the point I'm getting to. This did not happen overnight. Where I'm at right now, you can go back to all my videos. I'm not here because yesterday I just started up and I got good luck and just, it happened. It took time. It took time. And you can make it happen too. You can make it happen too. So I hope you guys enjoyed this story, okay? By no means did I mean for it to take this long, but hope you enjoyed it. And I'll catch you guys on another vlog.